Welcome to episode 20 of Planned Brotherhood. This week we're joined by our Aunt Lori, formerly a Jehovah's Witness, currently a practicing lesbian. Enjoy the show.
Lori, do you remember the time that we drove to Utah for Tiffany's wedding? And it was your kids and me and my girlfriend at the time. We don't drop names usually on the podcast.
Okay, because your girlfriend change all
my
the time.
girlfriend.
You remember her, big fat ugly girlfriend?
I have a name. Is it after a continent?
I never called her by that name.
Everybody
else called her
either.
Antarctica, but I thought it was too much of a
Okay.
mouthful. But yeah, so we were going to Utah, and your kids were in the car that I was driving in, and your son, who I will say
Were
the
you
name
driving?
of, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Caleb, I told him that you guys were in the next car over in the other lane. So it's a car packed with just family members, and Caleb holds up a sign on the freeway to you guys that says, "Show me your boobs." And then a couple.
So I showed him my one good one.
And everybody was laughing at the other car, and then a couple minutes go by, and we pull up parallel to you guys again, and our own grandma is holding up a piece of paper down the window with a drawing of boobs.
Oh, I so remember that.
That I think she drew herself.
I so remember that.
That's
Wow.
when grandma was still cool.
No, I can't even believe that
God,
story.
no, that's true. But see, I confused that trip with the trip we took. What were we driving? We're in that big old schlong.
I'm sorry, the big ol' what?
I'm sorry, Allersman again. No, that big white truck, or were we in an expedition or what? Do we remember? I don't even remember.
And we were headed somewhere?
Down to Utah.
No. I was driving in a separate car.
Oh, okay. For Tiffany's wedding.
And your husband at the time drove exactly the speed limit the entire time. I know
He
because I was behind
did?
him. I was following you guys. Yeah.
I don't know what that was about.
He's probably trying to impress me, and it worked.
I can't
Okay.
believe he was letting Caleb ride in a car with you driving.
I was
You
a
were-
good driver.
You were not an experienced driver.
No. In fact, that same trip, I'll tell you who's not an experienced driver. Remember once we got there, and my girlfriend, we'd been there for like less than 2 hours visiting. Then we were going to go to the store or the park or something, and she goes to pull out of our aunt's parking lot whose house we're staying at, and within 2 hours of being there, smashes, and it's brand new, remember?
Oh, I remember.
And the funniest
Into
part...
Terry's car.
Yeah. And the funniest part about that was
I
I was so
remember.
shocked and embarrassed that I refused to go into the living room with her when she told our
way to
aunt.
have her back.
Yeah, not only that, but I was literally hiding on the other side of the street with your son.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
and-
that pulls us into the Allersman conversation. Okay, was I drunk that whole time? Because I don't remember all of it.
I don't remember all of that trip either. I remember that our cousin Tyler took us to go see the pool from the Sandlot, which I thought was pretty cool.
Which your
Apparently
cousin
that was
Tyler,
filmed
by
in
the way,
Utah.
has a child.
Yeah, I
heard
know.
that.
How old is he? 19?
kid.
20, I think.
No, not the kid.
Tyler's
No.
like 40 now.
I think he's 20. He's right in between Caleb and Lacey, so I think he's 20.
I was a little shocked to hear he had a kid, but everybody seems to be having kids in our family except for me now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he had his kid in sin.
He
That's
did.
true.
He
That's
did.
true.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell which family members now are Jehovah's Witnesses and which ones just say
Uh-huh.
they are. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know the deal with a lot of our cousins or aunts who still claim somewhat to be within the religion,
Right.
but based on the actions of them and their kids,
No.
I don't know what the line is anymore.
Is it
I
safe-
can at least admit that I'm not in it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to say that you're not a Jehovah's Witness, Lori?
It's safe to say.
Okay.
Even if I wanted to be, I don't qualify.
But do you ever miss it? Is there anything you miss about it?
Yes.
Like what?
Well, I miss the education.
I'm sorry, education. Go again.
Well, all the stuff, all the I could out Bible talk anybody.
Yeah.
I can.
See, I
and
was
I'm a
never
great
at that
public
point, though.
speaker. I'm a great public speaker
Oh.
because of it. It was like a theological Toastmasters.
So it trained you more in a secular sense.
yes, to be a great
What
public
about
speaker.
what about socially?
Retarded.
Yeah, I know.
Having all
Thank
the friends though. I mean, but you had friends for like years and years that were Jehovah's Witnesses, right?
Yeah.
Go on vacations and.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying was it hard to part from them?
No, I'm saying
No.
was that something you were into while it was going on?
You know, I kind of remind myself of my mother sometimes, and I think Alice was very good at this, making whatever situation she's in at the time the situation that is wonderful for her. And so my personality is kind of be the best damn whatever I am at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a J-Dub, I was the best darn J-Dub there was.
Yeah, you were. I was
And when I was
scared of
dis-
you.
when
because of it.
And when I was disfellowshipped, oh my God, I was the best disfellowshipped person ever.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
years ago, I forgot about
was
that.
disfellowship 1996.
That's right. I
Uh-huh.
totally forgot about that
Uh-huh.
because for some reason it was me and PJ. Melissa wasn't around. Well, she was born when that happened, though, I guess. 96, you said? And
1996.
we spent the weekend at your house, and I wasn't sure what I was doing there or how to react to you. And you were kind of respectful in the sense that your husband and your kids were still out in the living room, and it's not like you ignored me or I ignored you. We never got to that point. But you did make a point to kind of steer clear, as I recall. I think
Really?
yeah, just watching out for my own feelings because if it was 1996, I was freshly baptized.
Oh, and I was poisonous.
Yeah,
Yes,
you were
yes.
you were in shun mode or what?
Yeah.
I don't remember. No.
What a dick. He was
We
such
don't
a
like
dick
that
at that
word,
age.
shun. Did you shun me?
No, I didn't shun you
Oh,
ever.
for God's sakes. Now I'm the best lesbian there is ever.
Are you disfellowshipped again?
No.
No.
Me
No.
neither. I'm not either. Technically, I don't
No. No, which is totally it's a ridiculous thing. It's an earthly thing, you know. Some people they'll go unnamed or nameless, aka Russ Allers.
Russ is.
think. He has the same last name, but I don't know who that is, Lori.
It's all about what's protocol. You know, she has to be taken care of. Take care of her. Take care of it. Take care of it. Okay? So,
Meaning even, you're talking about disfellowshipping?
yeah,
So meaning just to make it official.
make it official.
Right.
Where to put me. People don't know where to put me, and they don't know where to put you.
Right.
You know, because, well, you're not disfellowshipped. So some people find out you're not disfellowshipped. Oh, okay, that's great. Whew. Phew. Yeah, now I can talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay, but if it were truly about the whole does Jehovah accept you or not thing,
Right.
you would treat me
Because-
as if I were disfellowshipped.
Yes. Because I have friends that still claim to be pretty hardcore Jehovah's Witnesses that if they see me will not only talk to me but like stand outside with me as I smoke a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were officially disfellowshipped and they ran into me in that same place, that same way,
go.
they would completely ignore
No
me.
go. This happened to me at school the other day. One of the women that work at school is a JDAB. And when school started this year, Lori, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, holy crap. Yes? And I brace myself, and she goes, are you disfellowshipped? She's in the Spanish congregation. And I said, no, I'm not. And she goes, oh, thank goodness. I said, however, according to the rules, I should be. Oh, well, that doesn't matter because you're not, and so I can still talk to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, that's just all about the rules.
Don't even
Yeah, it's a
care.
Stupid.
technicality.
It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. So I
I'd
guess
rather be disfellowshipped officially, maybe. Maybe I'll send in a letter now, just so they will stop talking to me.
I don't think anyone cares what God thinks in that religion. It's all elders and following technicalities like that.
Yes.
Like if you're not disfellowshipped, I'll talk to you the day you are, the day you come back, whatever. And then like what we were talking about before, like with the sins, with gluttony, with greed and stuff like that, that a lot of them are very guilty of. I don't mean to turn this into a tirade against
Go
No,
ahead.
no, but
Go
that's
ahead.
religion in general, but
that is a good point because gluttony is a huge sin in the
Huge.
Bible.
Huge.
And
But not
there are
only
so
that-
It's
many fat
probably
asses.
mentioned more than alcoholism, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. And they always stress that you could drink alcohol in moderation, which I did for the entire time I was Jehovah's Witness. Once I fell off that wagon, I fell off every wagon.
Yeah. I don't know. That pick and choose your rules. It's a very, very exclusive club. And I understand the concept of clubs. If you want to be part of the club, you have to follow the rules. That's true with every club. I didn't follow the rules, so I'm not part of the club. It's just that the ramifications for not being part of the club are so extreme.
Exactly, especially if you're born and raised within a religion. So you're
And all your family.
all of
still
your
is.
family and all of your friends, because growing up you're not allowed to have friends outside of the religion. I still did, but you kind of keep it on the DL.
I did too.
Yeah. But it's huge. Like, once you decide you're going to leave that religion, it turns your whole world into upheaval.
Right.
That's
You
why
have to start
people.
new.
That's why people aren't so crazy for always asking if it's a cult or thinking it's a cult like that. Because I mean, you've got your own family that may or may not talk to you if you decide I decided something. Just I don't believe in God anymore or anything like that. You can still be a good person, live your life, but I mean, you're just completely excommunicated, and that's very cultish.
Well, and when you've spent your whole entire life only associating with that particular population, and
It's
then
all you know.
and then that particular population considers you dead, it's devastating. It's devastating because they don't accept you on anything. It doesn't matter what, and I guess this is my biggest issue. It doesn't matter what wonderful things I've done with my life. And part of me says I've done some amazing things, but then the other part of me says, well, the rubric is the Allers family. So, the bar wasn't set very high. But
You win the Allers contest. Congratulations.
Have you
Thank
been
you.
to a
Here's your
single
big
day of
wiener.
college? Because if so, you win.
I have! Yes, I did!
Go, there you go.
I went to orientation. Oh, honey.
You've got me beat.
I have 15 college credits. Hello. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Now, isn't it true? Didn't you also actually go to a regular high school for a while?
For a week.
Oh,
you were-
that's it? I thought it was like a year.
No, I tried. No, I went
It was
for
your
a week.
choice, though, right?
It was my choice. I had to fight my
So we
mother
were all
on
given
it.
the choice. Did that go all the way back to Dad? You can go to public high school or you can go to homeschool.
You know what? But it wasn't like, it really wasn't a choice.
Really?
No.
It was for me, and I jumped on homeschool.
Why did Grandma want to homeschool all you guys so bad?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I want to talk honestly here for
Yeah.
a moment.
Please.
Okay. My mother was the epitome of paranoia. If we went out into the world, out into school, this is my opinion, she had to worry about us.
So this is fact, right?
Yeah, this is fact. She had to worry about us. So my mother was horribly paranoid about everything. She had to worry about us, and she wouldn't have any help in the daycare.
That's true,
Yeah.
and that
That
was
was
the
a big thing
pull
with
for my
us.
mom,
Yeah.
too.
So she wanted us to stay home.
That was the deal, is because my parents knew that I hated school. I never, ever was excited for school. Never was excited to go peachy shopping or anything like that.
Peaches.
I would be excited for the first couple of days, like, because I'd get
See, I didn't even
two
have
new
that.
T-shirts for the year or something. Want to wear my Tasmanian Devil Born to Be Bad shirt. And,
Or your Tweety Bird.
yeah, and then just get ridiculed on the first day and just go, I
Uh-huh.
can't wait till 8th grade when I never have to come back.
The thing I learned
Because
in
I
middle
always
school,
knew that I would never have to go to high school.
everything goes well with sweatpants.
Yeah, God.
It's a joke I was trying to get in.
I was the sweatpants mascot of that school.
No, I fought my mother. The funny thing is with my mom is that I never caused my mother distress, except I always wanted to be with other people, and that's what pissed Mom off more than anything. I wanted to run. I wanted to be out. Okay, so you remember, guys, I was a runner back in the day.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so my mother, and we lived we lived in that house that you guys abandoned.
Grew up. Yeah.
To be clear, me and
grew
PJ
up
didn't
in
abandon it.
Yeah.
My mother, I swear you would have thought we had a big old Rottweiler in the house, because I literally had to run a track around the backyard because my mother was so paranoid she wouldn't let me run out of doors.
Wow.
And I had to run in the backyard around the perimeter of our backyard.
Yeah.
And it looked like we had a dog because and then I progressed to running up and down the street. Okay, up and down the street. Then that kid got his penis cut off about
Yeah.
a mile from the house.
That was
and
my
that
best
it.
friend. at the
PJ's
time.
best friend in elementary
I
school.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Rest
And
in
so
peace,
that
he's
was
dead
totally.
now.
I mean,
Yeah,
I was
he's
done.
dead
in-
now. Have you heard that?
No, he's dead.
You know how he died? Dirt bike accident or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
my
that kid had a
God.
rough life.
God,
Yeah,
you
he
survive
was-
getting your penis cut off and you die in a dirt bike.
I
Yeah.
know.
That's not
What's
nice.
funny about that story is
There's
it
no
got
God.
it got released in the paper when he died in the dirt bike accident, just as a little blurb in the paper. Then all of a sudden they realized who it was. Like he's a
Right.
local legend.
So they resurrected the penis story.
Oh, and they made it a front page story.
Oh
And
my
of
God.
course,
days
his
later.
mom gave all the quotes they wanted because
Yeah.
she was like that. But my mom takes a lot of pride in the fact that, he was my best friend, Ryan Hade, and we hung out like every day. And my mom takes pride in the fact I can't even remember if it's exactly true, but she says I was supposed to be with him. I was supposed to hang out
that
with
day?
him. Yeah, that like he came over and wanted me to go play. And they wouldn't let me go, and I was all mad or something. In fact, come to think, that's probably a made-up story.
Let's tell the story just for anybody that might be listening, really quick and tastefully. But I'll leave it up to you because you probably know more of the details.
But
than
how
me.
to? It's not,
probably what, like 1986?
God, I don't even remember.
no, 89.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I was about 7 or 8.
Okay, and he was your best friend.
Yeah.
He went to the park.
And apparently, we were supposed to go to the park together.
Was it even a
and
park though? Wasn't it down in that
It was
in
woods.
that woody area?
Yeah. They made
Yeah.
it into a park and named it
Right.
after him, or we're gonna name it after him.
Oh,
We haven't
they
named it
did? I
something
didn't know
else.
that.
They didn't name it after him.
But somebody was going out to bury their cat and
It
they
was-
just found him all mutilated, right?
Yeah, it was. There had been a guy who was in jail. For
Earl Schreiner.
Yeah, he was in
Do you
jail.
remember his name?
Yeah.
He was in jail for sexual assault, and then when they let him go, apparently he had said, don't let me go. I'm going to do it again. I can feel it. I'm sick, blah, blah, blah. But they let him go, and then, he found Ryan in the woods and, did a lot of stuff to him. Mutilated him pretty badly. And then, the girl that Ryan lived, I guess, about 4 houses down from us, and this is in the house, that you
Right.
grew
It
up
was,
in, too.
yeah, it was down on the corner. I
And
remember.
and now we live there, and he was down on the corner, and then the girl right across the street from us, her and her family went to bury a cat the next morning, and they found him there.
Crazy.
And,
And he survived it.
yeah,
And did he leave his appendage there next to him? Was
it was I don't know.
I don't know.
It,
He had
it-
some kind
it
of-
definitely was never reattached.
Yeah, it
So
was
it
some kind of
wasn't.
No.
it was some kind of prosthetic,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It was tiny.
Uh,
It was
You saw it,
extremely
didn't you?
small. Oh yeah.
Not that you guys were sucking each other off in the other room.
No, it was impossible after that.
Would you have if he had a penis?
But he
I
got-
knew I wasn't the only one in the family.
There was an electric wire running around the bottom of the fence for their dog, and he could pee on it no problem and not have it hurt because it was small and fake.
Oh my
And then
God.
he talked me into doing it and got it. He wa-
Yeah, we go back to our only 8th grade education.
he was determined to make us the Dickless Twins.
That's the title of this episode, by the way, 8th grade education.
8th grade
I thought
education.
Dickless Twins.
That works too.
Glory was always with me, ever after, forever, ever, 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 ever. It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time, time. The picture drawing, the pretend hero.
Okay, we're good. Put the mic up to your
But the
face.
guys look frighteningly similar to each other.
Yeah.
in our family.
I know, and some to more extremes than others. If you're saying
Yeah.
I look like Barry, I'll fucking punch you.
No, but hello, Scott walked into a room full of like,
Scott being our dad.
yeah,
And your
500
brother.
people, 300 of them, which were mentally retarded. And Janine picked him right out of a crowd. That's an allers.
And especially when you're in a bowling alley full of retards, you really can't tell which one an allers is unless you look closely.
True. How could we be so smart and so fall into that category at the same time? I don't know.
I don't know. We do manage to ride that line, though.
Not retarded, undereducated. We've had this discussion. Undereducated. We're all want to be brain surgeons.
I say it for the comedy. I don't say it because I mean it.
Oh, okay. All right, very good. So many things to talk about.
Yeah, let's get
Okay,
going.
all right. So, y'all wanted to talk about Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your husband of how many years?
24 years.
No longer your husband.
No
Have we
longer my
established that
husband.
you're a lesbian now?
We have,
Okay.
indeed.
I think in past episodes we have.
Yeah, I think it was the, we won't name her, but we'll just call her what? Aunt Leslie. Yeah, that was in the Neckfurter episode.
It was
Oh,
a Nick
jeez.
joke.
Speaking of, just a quick tangent, the Neckforders episode was the episode that mainly focused on the hatred of our stepmom.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
my dad, who had never listened to an episode.
That's the one he picks.
Yeah, well, because he said, I'd never listened to the show, but I was bored at work the other day, and I pulled up your website, and then boredom drives people to us. And then, so there's a show description, though, for every episode posted on the website.
Right.
So he was just scanning that and saw that we said something about our stepmom.
And that was it.
Yeah, and so he totally threw me, because that was when we were meeting you guys at the restaurant last weekend, and it was just me and him in the car on the ride over. And he waits until we pull up into the parking lot to tell me. He's like, so I listened to the podcast, and right then I knew what
You're
he
like,
had heard.
holy smokes.
Go back and listen to it. It's harsh shit. But he has to know that that's how we feel.
Wow.
Like, I think, and he told me he only listened to 3 or 4 minutes of it, and then he couldn't anymore.
Really?
And that he'll never tell his wife.
And then he would never, of course he would never tell his wife about it.
I'm safe when he comes here this week because his wife will be with him. So
you really think she's going to come?
Yeah, that's their plan, is to come.
That's why there was the whole warning, like,
Yeah,
Debbie's coming to town, don't tell anybody else, because she's so uncomfortable around our family.
Oh, do you think
Yeah.
she'll meet Janine and I?
No, I doubt it.
Has she never?
I seriously doubt it.
No, I've met her. I think, did she come to Alice's wedding?
Good question.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, because that was maybe
That was
the
when they-
second time he met Alvina, or no, it was the first time he met my wife, and completely blew her off. Like, I think she tried to give him a hug or something, which is weird.
Are you kidding me?
And he just turned around and walked away. And
Well, his wife is psychotic when it
I
comes
told him
to...
about it. I told him about it later, and he said, he was like, well, he blamed it on my wife's dress, that it was a revealing dress.
Oh, honey, but your
he's
wife,
like,
she's got
yeah.
some revealing
Oh yeah.
body parts.
Yeah.
And she did on
They
that
can't be
night.
contained.
Yeah, I remember.
You
She
gotta
asked
let
me to
them
help her
breathe.
with her dress one time, and I think it was like her wedding dress or something. I'm like, I'm all over it.
But see, we thought you were straight back then, so
Oh,
that was really
honey!
We thought it was
unfair.
safe.
But you should have been paying attention.
You don't know how many acid showers Alvina
No,
took.
you know what, Lori? If I can tell you honestly,
Tell me honestly.
I probably suspected that you were a lesbian a few years before you officially came out.
Really, truly?
Yeah, really, truly.
I think
Never to the point where I was positive,
Uh-huh.
but I had an inkling in those last few years.
Well, I think more.
and I can't even
a
say
few
why. It
people
was just
did.
the vibe I got. What's that?
A few people did. No.
Oh,
Or-
God,
or is
yes.
that- yeah, I mean,
Tracy, our uncle, your
Yeah.
brother, he claims to have known for a long time
Yeah.
too.
I don't think I had any opinion for myself, but
Well, going back to David, let's see, I was married in 1982.
Right.
I told David in 1984.
How old were you in 1982?
you
if you
told.
don't mind us?
This is
I was
interesting.
18.
18. Wow.
That was the year I was born.
Yep.
You told him in 1984.
Yes, that I was a
Whoa.
lesbian. Yes, so our entire married life, he knew I was a lesbian.
And you didn't have kids until several years after that.
87 and 89.
Right.
Yep,
Was that because of the religion, or
Yep.
did you just want to have kids?
Okay.
a little bit of both.
Okay.
Why? What kept you in the religion then? If you know that you're a lesbian and that's not all right, then why even go to meetings? Like, why
Just
even want to
guilt?
be involved with them? I mean, because they would probably say, well, if you're not acting on it, you're suppressing the desire. That's okay, but why even want
Right.
to?
I didn't suppress it, which is why I had to come out in 1984 when I was pioneering and doing my partner.
Wow.
But see, but that's it. Then why go pioneering? Why go 40
because-
hours a week?
It's
Okay, should we
because-
explain what
Knocking on-
pioneering is?
40
I'm-
hours a week at least, right? Knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Trying to
At the
spread the
time,
word.
it was 90 hours a month. Pioneering is like you're going door to door all the time. It's equivalent to a part-time job in the secular world.
Right.
It's a part-time job. And then when you take out all the coffee breaks and fuck your partner moments. It was, yeah.
I want initials, Lori. Have I ever met this
Okay.
person?
I don't know. In
Okay.
84?
Yeah.
Wait, oh, this was in 84 that it
This
happened.
was
I'm
in
sorry.
1984,
Okay.
yeah.
Then I would
Why
know.
do you do it? Well, because it's that innate desire to do what is right. You know what? Here's the deal.
But are you doing what's right?
Was I or
By
am
not
I?
coming out sooner?
Good question.
I'm sorry.
At,
No.
at least you came out to someone, though. I mean, that you could. that
And your
he's,
husband,
he's
I
your
mean,
husband,
bonus.
and now you can have like
Honest
like an
relationship.
honest relation, like you're not
I would
hiding this
hope.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. But I knew I was gay when I was 6. So, yeah. I mean, I did suppress it for a very long time, and I just couldn't do it anymore. You get married because you have to. You know. Okay, so here's
That's true. I almost got
here's the
married
deal.
because I thought I had to.
Well, here's the deal. You know, not most, I don't know. I won't be so dogmatic in my thinking. However, you are told, you have certain messages when you're growing up. Some kids, it's, well, when you go to college, and when you go to college, and when you go to college, and blah, 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 and when you go to college, and this,
and when
that,
we
and that.
don't go to college.
And for me, it was, and in the way that I was raised, in the generation I was raised, when you get married, when you grow up and get married, when you grow up and get
Right.
married, and then when you grow up and get married and have kids, and so when you grow up and get married and have kids, when you're 18 and grow up and get married, so what did I do at 18?
Right.
I got married. And that's what I did. And of course, it's the only time you can have sex, too.
Yep.
And so I got
it's
married.
not.
I was 6 days 18 when I got married. I was 18 on October 17th and
That's
got married
crazy. I had
October
no idea you were
23rd.
that young.
I was that young. And so you do it because you have to do it. And then I felt stuck. And David is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
I disagree. He frightened me.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. What was so scary?
I think of a lot of it was that, like, when we would go to visit, like, I was embarrassed of our family. I was embarrassed by, like, well, like, it was embarrassing because
Duly noted.
we would always get, like, in trouble in front of family, like, way more than we would at home. Like, all of a sudden, when we were in front of family, that was, like, when my parents decided, like, I don't know, it somehow made them look good to, like, just, like,
Ream on you.
bash
Right.
us all the time. And so
It was power tripping.
I
in
think
a
it
lot
was
of
that. And then, like, I think there was always the fear that, like, and it seemed to be instilled, at least in me, by Dad, don't do anything like Dave and Lori. They're like, you know, they're good Jehovah's Witnesses. They're a good family, blah, blah, blah. Don't do anything stupid. Don't embarrass yourself. And then, so, like, I always thought if I was going to make anyone mad, it was going to be Dave. And then I was going to get in trouble by my dad for it.
And it was his status in the religion a long time. He was an elder for
He
a
was
lot
an
of
elder.
years. And
And-
so that just adds to the fear.
And I have no idea how he personally thought of, like, our family coming over there or anything like that. But like I say, I was just embarrassed the whole time. I wasn't comfortable being there, and I, like, even as a little kid, it was like,
Yeah.
we're imposing on this family.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's the reason. Plus, I remember once when Caleb was a baby, there was like a toy. It was like
Caleb
a
is
big,
Lori's son.
right? Yeah,
And Dave's son.
we've been there.
Okay.
My son.
It was like a toothpaste tube, like an inflatable toothpaste tube toy.
Okay.
And I said something about like, oh, I'm gonna bash you in the head with it. And then we went into the hallway. This is in your house on 8th.
8th Avenue. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then Dave reprimanded me for talking like that. And he's like, we don't talk about bashing heads in or anything like that.
You know what? That
And I
reminds-
almost wet myself.
I have a
right
Dave.
there.
I have a Dave story
Oh
too.
my God.
I was
okay.
probably 16 or 17, and I was hanging out with your kids, and I was in charge of the remote control at your guys' place, and it was just us three in the living room, me and your son and your daughter. And if I was 16, how old would they have been? 1996.
1996.
Yeah.
Caleb would have been 9.
Okay. That explains it.
Yeah.
Then. I don't
Okay.
necessarily blame Dave all of a sudden, but I was watching The Simpsons in the living room,
Uh-huh.
and I don't remember what was going on screen, but something really offended Dave when he walked through the living room, and he scolded me for having that on in front of your kids.
But see, I'm sure he had like a nice adult way about like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
doing
Thinking
it.
back
but,
on it now.
but we weren't used to that. Like
Right.
it was like, oh my God, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like we're pieces of shit. They're gonna be mad at us for days. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You didn't know what normal was.
after I got married. This is another Dave story. After I got married,
Yes.
my wife and I we were real broke, and I think like we were late on a power bill, and our power was shut off at our house or something like that. And we spent the night at your guys' house. Because by this time I was super comfortable with Dave and of course your whole family, and I had gone out with friends after work or something like that. And this is when one of the first few times I smoked pot, and I smoked a ton of pot. And then I was walking down that little hallway. This is your
Right.
newer house,
Right.
and Dave was up or something like that, and in the hallway. So we're standing about a foot away from each other, and we're having like a conversation, and I am insanely high out of my mind. I feel like I
would have shit my pants. At that
like I
moment.
reek of weed, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm sleeping in this dude's house. I'm coming in at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I reek of weed. I can't even imagine what my eyes looked like or anything.
What'd he say?
Nothing about
No.
that. Like we just had a just talked for a minute.
Oh, he
and then-
knew.
And then we
Well,
went to
well,
bed.
of course he knew, because probably what a lot of people don't know is that was David's teenage years too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
But I was like 22 at this time, or maybe 20 or 21. But yeah, that would drive me crazy thinking about that afterwards. Like, oh my god, that was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
He's not as tough as he let on.
I remember when I
we
thought
just
you
doing
were
the
still a
right thing.
Jehovah's Witness, and you were still married to Dave at that house,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still pretending to be a Jehovah's Witness, but I reeked of cigarette smoke whenever I would come into your house, and you called me on it at least once. You didn't. I mean, in a joking way, but something smells like cigarettes, and and then I
Is
didn't
it
go to
me?
your house for 3 months because I wasn't going to quit smoking for you. I'm sorry, Laura. I
No,
love
that's
you,
okay.
but-
I don't pretend to have that much power at all. So sorry, guys. Sorry that Dave scared you.
No,
He
it's,
scared me too.
I got over that.
What do you
Good.
mean he scared you? Did he rule with an iron fist?
No, he didn't. No, David is very good at clandestine power. He's one of those guys that if I had an idea, which, I had all kinds of ideas, and he would give me every reason. Okay, so I'd come up with an idea. I won't even pretend to tell you the plethora of ideas I came up with. And he would bash, 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 and at the end he would go, but you do what you want, whatever you want to do. In other words, if you do it, you're an idiot, but,
Yeah.
Right.
And
I feel that's how I am. With, with
my daughter
wife.
treats me the same way. Yeah. But anyway.
Really, you feel that way with your wife?
So
Is it because her ideas are so stupid?
Yeah, exactly. At least I think they are. And then I tell her, then, and I think that's her same argument. But if you don't mind me asking, so when you're married to him, and it was clear from the beginning that you were a lesbian. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah.
don't know.
So did you guys was it like an open relationship type thing? Like,
Now I'm getting the eyes.
Oh wow! Well, we don't have to get into it.
Lori,
but, I
remember
mean,
when we asked
what
you
did he
before
do
we got
for 20
on?
years?
Is there anything you don't want to talk about? No.
Okay,
If
as
you
long
don't
as
want
I
to
don't
answer,
name
don't
it.
I
answer.
wanna know
I can't
if-
believe you asked that, PJ.
If he got to do anything in that 20 years, maybe that's why he was a
I
little
begged
scary.
him. I begged him to do stuff in that 20 years to satiate my own conscience.
Right.
So here's the deal. No, I was not faithful for the most part of our marriage,
Uh-huh.
but he knew it because I'm a horrible liar. I'm a horrible
So
liar.
am I. I think that's an Ulrich trait, too.
I think so too. So every infidelity I had, every boundary that I crossed, I would end up telling David. And, David wasn't so much offended by the gay thing as much as he would have been had it been another guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't so much offended by the gay thing.
that I kind of see where he's coming
Yeah.
from, and I don't know
No,
why.
I do too, and
I
I'm
mean-
grateful for it. I mean, I really am. I'm grateful for it. So an open relationship, no. Would he have preferred me to be something else? Absolutely. Did he want to get a divorce? No. But David would have been very, very satisfied with mediocrity, which is what most of our marriage was. He was a great partner,
Yeah.
and we had a great relationship. And the reason we stayed together for as long as we did was because we were in the middle of an arrangement. We had kids. We had places.
So was that it then? Mainly is the kids? You were just waiting until that point
Absolutely.
where they
In
could
my
be on their
mind,
own?
we talked about it for a long time that, you know what, we're going to be one of those families that once our kids get off to college and they do their thing, that we're going to end up getting a divorce. I would say that seriously. He would chime in with a joke, but it was more serious. That's the way it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it happened, David's not a fighter. He's very passive,
Yeah.
too. And so I would say he was very not domineering, but I never questioned his role in the family. But in retrospect, I think I make things happen, and I made this happen. I'm the one that left him. He would have never left me, is how I
Right.
feel. I'm the one that made this move. I'm the one that made this.
Through all
move.
those years, was it as happy like as it seemed? Like you guys went on vacations, like it was
Yeah,
awesome
until we
over
had
there.
to have sex,
Yeah.
and then the rape happened over and over again. Go to a happy place. Go to a happy place. Go to a happy place. No, it
That's
was.
true. You guys were like the ideal American
See,
family.
I know.
Because he had a great job.
I
You
know.
had great jobs, and then you guys were constantly on your boat. And did we ever get an invite, PJ and I? I remember seeing
I
all
knew
the
that
other
was gonna
cousins in
come
their
up.
bathing
Yeah,
suits.
there's a Jackie quote verbatim right there.
Yeah, what's the Jackie quote?
Hers was
Jackie is our mom.
yeah, we were all watching those home movies, and Melissa said something like, where my mom kept going, "Oh, I guess my kids were never invited on these vacations."
Yes, you
like she
were.
would have even let us go. Or
You
there you go,
were.
we were, and they didn't
Yes,
let
you
us
were.
go.
That makes so much sense
Yeah,
now.
you
But at the
were.
time, I was like, what?
I know.
No,
But
I never thought.
You know what
I
you
was-
said earlier about being embarrassed? That's kind of what I thought it was. Like, this is
No.
why we don't get invited, just because our
Oh,
family's so
yeah.
fucked up.
You
Yeah.
were. We had
I-
every other niece and nephew on that boat. Why wouldn't we have you?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
But Melissa was watching the home movie, and she said, my mom had said it a million times, and she goes, "Why weren't we there, Mom?" And I was like, "Melissa, shut up." This is,
I don't want to get into
I
this. I
hate
don't want to
being
get into
in that group, and Mom was like, "I don't know. I guess she didn't like you guys." And
Oh,
then
see, that's such bullshit.
Vincent was like, Jackie.
And then we already talked about when our little sister was sending us the constant text messages. Oh, yeah, it was a very similar comment I guess she had made about when you had said, you got to be careful of what kind of bills this is going to ring up. Sorry, my kid's bothering you.
Exactly.
What is that attitude? I don't get it.
I don't know.
We're
I
just
don't
trying
know
to
either.
talk sense.
I know. Let's go back to the rape,
Okay.
just in case David listens to this.
We don't talk about rape a lot on this show, but I think
Well,
it
no.
should be
The whole, yes, my marriage was as wonderful as it looked. We were the perfect family. And I think this is probably, and I'm just thinking unilaterally here, pretending to know what my family thinks because I don't know what they think because nobody will fucking talk to me.
That's
Well,
a big part of our family.
Huge.
Well, you're gay.
I know. Thank you.
So
Sorry, Lori, you closed that door.
you made your bed and you lied in it with a woman.
And I rolled around naked with her, according to my mother. But no, we did have a really great marriage. But the problem with my family is that we were the success story, I think, with the Allers family.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
We had a great marriage, and we had 2 great kids, and we
Yep.
had a great home, and we both had great jobs. And we were kind of as my mother put it, the coagulant or the glue that kept the family together.
The entire family?
Is what my mother said.
Wow.
Not the entire family, but I was.
You
And I
set a
guess
good
that's what-
example.
I guess that's what makes me so mad is that I was gay all the way back to the age of 6. So even when I was the family coagulant, I was still gay.
Right.
Yeah.
But once everybody else's knowledge changed about my status, so did all of a sudden my ability to keep the family together.
And your accomplishments. That doesn't take away from all of
Oh
your
my
life's
God! I'm
accomplishments.
the only one in the fucking family that has a career.
I know.
You know.
Absolutely.
And
And you gave the family so many years, like
devotion
Yeah.
and all of that. And I
you
think
were
that's
the life
probably,
of every family party.
well,
Seriously.
thank you.
And
I
you
think
still are.
that's the biggest disservice I think is just because I'm gay, and other people would say no, it's because you walked out on Jehovah. I take issue with that. That might be another conversation after I go potty. But just
Good, I need a
because of that,
cigarette, too.
it invalidated all of the great things that I did, and that's not fair. That is so not fair, because I am still that person that did all those wonderful things. I'm still that person that, and I was gay then too. The only thing that changed, guys, is the fact that the family knew. That's the only thing.
Oh,
so
I
if
know.
anything physically changed, it's because they changed it because of their knowledge. Not because I changed it because all of a sudden I was gay. Hello. It was no big great shock.
And Grandma, I mean, you say since the age of 6.
Mm-hmm.
So there should have been some telltale signs, or did you make a point to keep it a secret because of the religion?
you never told grandma, like
You
as
never-
a kid.
Oh, God, no.
No. Yeah,
No.
I don't blame you.
No.
I mean, we saw what happened when she did find
and
out.
most people would never even know it. Most people don't even come out or know that they're gay until their 20s.
Yeah.
It's in retrospect that they go, oh, you know what? I can remember back when I was 6.
Mhm.
Oh, it's the damn daycare. All those hot little 6-year-olds.
I agree.
That
Yeah.
was responsible
That's
for my
what-
pedophilia.
It's what kept me not gay. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's all those strange young women that Mom had in our family when I was 6 years old. No. No, and I don't believe in that either. Are we on the air?
Yeah.
We are?
You keep saying on the air, and it throws me off.
Let me
As if
take
all
it.
of a sudden we're thrown into a live
It
broadcast.
scares me into thinking we're on the air.
All right. I want to go back to the whole who made me gay thing.
Yeah?
You
Let's
know, I don't know. People in general, I guess, feel like they have to, there's got to be a reason. I had a student recently come out after.
Male or female?
Male,
do it. How old?
19.
Mhm.
And he emailed me from college. And I'm like, hey, how are you doing? And he's like, oh, it's been the week from hell. How come? Oh, I'm gay. I said, me too. So what's else going on? And I don't come out to my current students, however, after this broadcast. But one of the first things his mother said was, why and who did this to you?
You said
Were you molested?
you haven't not come out to your current students?
Oh, a lot of them know.
Yeah, but...
I am
is
the
it-
president, or no, I am the advisor of the Gay Straight Alliance Club at our school.
Oh, that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I know. But no, I don't. I don't hide it. Oh, God, no. People see Janine and I around town all the time, so I don't hide it. But it's not a public declaration either.
You know, if you were trying to
But-
hide it, and I'm glad that you're not, Yakima's a bad place to do that in.
Yeah, I
was
know.
trying to hide a lot of things when I was living in Yakima.
Yeah,
there are people around
impossible.
every corner.
I know it. I know it. You can't hide from
You've got
anything.
the elders on speed dial.
I know. Okay, but nothing. And guys, this is something I've been trying to get across to my mother when she'll speak to me. It hasn't in a year, but
But she'll still cash your checks, is that
she'll
correct?
still cash my checks. Okay, nothing makes you gay. You're born gay, and you're born with blue eyes, and you're born. You know, it's just one of those things. Don't make it about yourself.
You really believe that?
I do.
Me too.
Yeah,
I totally do.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're born gay and you're born with blue eyes. Does that mean everyone's born gay and some of them?
All gay people have blue eyes.
That's
That's what I was
That's a
saying.
bold statement.
That's what I was saying. Jeez, do I have to spell it out for you?
Well, see, I got the brown eyes, and that's why I
Yeah.
love the ladies.
I heard it's
Me
because all
too.
that fudge got packed up there.
You know? People would ask me, God, what do you see in women? And I go, well, what do you see in women? Okay, the same thing. Hello.
Yeah, I think it's easier for guys to accept lesbianism than girls.
Oh,
that
wait,
aren't
I'd
lesbian.
way rather be a lesbian than a gay man.
Yeah, me too. Hurts
yeah.
less, right?
Yeah, truly. Way rather be. A lot more accepted. Men are way more. And I think that was one of the successes
Well, that goes
of the,
back to girl on girl porn.
Exactly. And the success of my marriage. You know, men aren't nearly as offended with. I think David was way more tolerant of the whole 24 years together because I wasn't replacing him. It was an addition to him, not an instead of him.
Right.
And gay women are way more accepted in society than gay men.
Absolutely true. My first girlfriend who worked at your daycare there
Yes.
for a little while,
Uh-huh.
she's a full-blown lesbian. I'm sure
Yep,
you know that
I
by
do
now.
know that.
Did you know that the whole time?
Do you think she's
When
a
she was
pretend
engaged
lesbian?
to me, did you know that?
Okay, wait a minute. Too
I'm
many
so-
questions. Too
I
many
know.
questions.
Let me go mine first.
Okay, what, Nick?
At the time that we were dating and then eventually engaged, did you ever have the inkling that she was gay?
No.
She never grabbed your ass.
No. I'm sure she looked at it. I could feel the burning. And Nick, or PJ, what was your question?
You don't think she's a pretend lesbian?
She would definitely
She
have
t-
sex with me right now.
She
if I
told
went over to
Nick
town.
that like she's not even, but or what? What did you say? Her girlfriend doesn't.
No,
believe in the...
I just got the vibe that she. I don't believe that she doesn't enjoy the relationship that she's in with her
Absolutely.
lesbian lover.
Mhm.
But I also know that she has heterosexual tendencies. I
Sure,
mean,
sure.
we were together for a long time, and I also know that even after she declared lesbianism, we'd hooked up. This is before her girlfriend, but so
Uh-huh.
like, what is it just because I'm comfort food or?
Could be. I think you could. I think she. I
And
think
it goes
she
back
in
to the Allers
particular-
appendage.
Also.
Also.
Yeah, which I don't know anything about. She could go either way. I think you love who you love at the
Then
time
call
that you
yourself
love them.
bisexual, not gay.
True, but some people think bisexuality is kind of a cop out for no commitment. You go either way.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys just coming out say they're bisexual, and a lot of women too, especially in high school. Oh, I'm bisexual because I haven't really come to terms with their
Forgive
true
me for saying
identity.
this if this is offensive, but I totally buy when a girl tells me she's bisexual. But if a guy says he's bisexual, he's just gay to me.
Could be.
Putting
I believe
putting
that.
a penis in. Never mind. I meant to go the other way. Like
makes
having
you
a
gay.
penis inserted into your asshole is a whole other thing than girls in college hooking up and providing fantasies for me.
Yeah. It's all about you, Nick. It's just about fulfilling your fantasies. That's okay.
By the way, I gotta say, I am not into lesbian porn.
Have you
At
never
all.
been?
No, never.
I don't believe you.
No.
Interesting. I had always been when I wasn't getting it, but now that I'm getting it, lesbian sex,
Yeah.
I'm way into guy porn now.
Really?
I am.
Wait. You mean guy-girl porn?
No, guy porn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guy
That is
porn.
just like a whole other sort of
Like it.
6 feet under type lifestyle you're leaving.
I
No,
like
leading.
guy
I
on
can tell
guy
you that
porn.
I've seen not only have I seen real gay porn, gay porn, but I've seen it on a huge screen because I was on some kick in Portland. I was with this weird group of people, and we were going to a bunch of strip clubs and various bars, and then we ended up going to a couple of gay bars. And there are gay bars in Portland where they'll have huge screens and just hardcore guy-on-guy gay sex going on as I'm trying to drink my beer. And I'm not a homophobe by any means, but it was gross. It was fucking
Well,
Oh,
it
disgusting.
doesn't
I
make
like
you.
watching it.
It doesn't make you a homophobe to not want to watch two guys.
I know,
having
because
sex.
my mother can't stand the thought of Ginny and I rolling around.
That's a direct quote, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It makes me sick to my stomach.
So that was...
Yeah.
Yeah, her
It's-
400-pound naked husband with
It
the
makes me
bedpan.
sick to my stomach.
And a
I
cum
hope
rag
that
stuck
if
to
my
his
mother
chest hair.
visualizes any of her children having sex with their partners, be it gay or straight, I hope it makes her sick. to her
Yeah,
stomach.
seriously. So,
Yeah.
I can't imagine her being pleased
Yeah.
at the idea of my dad
You know,
having sex.
I kind of like the thought of gay porn because, you know what, I got it in the ass for 24 years, and I'm just glad to see somebody else doing it. That was funny. Okay? I carry her, that was funny right there. Yeah.
That's why I laugh so hard.
Yeah, I do feel like I've been sucking the world's dick for 26 years, and it's nice to relate on screen.
What else did we want to talk about?
Do you think our sister Melissa's a lesbian?
No.
No.
Do you think she's asexual? She
Does she
seems
have-
grossed out by girls and boys still.
Does she? She's not into boys at all.
Although she'll talk about boyfriends once in a while. But you have to take her current mental status into play. You know?
Which you would say is
Slow?
Yeah, I mean, what if you had to put her at the age that she is mentally?
Let's see. She'll be 16 on November 30th.
as I'm sure
Why do I
she's
know that?
texted you and told you many
Because I
times.
get a daily text reminding me she'll be 16 on November 30th.
Well, now High School Musical 3 is out. She has to find something new to talk about.
Truly. And her bowling tournament is over.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something. Let's see. How do I describe Melissa? She's 16, chronologically 16. I think she functions at the age of about 7.
7. I gave her more credit on a previous episode. I think I said 9 or 10.
Really?
But
Good.
I don't know that I believe that. It was just a...
It depends on what you're talking about.
yeah,
You know,
it really does.
if it's about math, I'm sorry, she's an allers.
Yeah.
I mean-
I don't blame her for not knowing math.
Is that a bad thing? I think I'm good at math.
Are you good at math?
Really?
I'm
so.
horrible at math.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're the exception.
Maybe. And you and
Maybe.
Lacey, which would be my daughter,
Yeah.
brilliant as she is, WSU. No, Melissa.
But
God,
see,
Melissa.
if they're most allers tend to be good at spelling English in general. I feel, whereas Melissa doesn't have that, as
No.
we've discovered by her
No.
text messages.
Right.
But more so than I would think a 7-year-old, I guess.
But did Dad really have any of those talents? Was Dad a particularly smart
I think
guy?
Dad was a. Dad was a pretty smart guy.
That's true. He could always predict like the ends of movies and stuff.
No. More than that, Dad kicked ass at
that's
Trivial Pursuit.
Oh
Did he?
my God!
And
but that's
he was good
because
at
he
Jeopardy,
was an
too.
insane reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
He knew everything.
I think Dad was smart in a lot of ways, but I remember the exact day that I discovered Dad's not as smart as I all of a sudden.
When was that day?
I can't think of a specific instance. I just remember having the thought. I was like,
The
my dad
epiphany?
doesn't know everything, you know? And I think everybody has that
He did
thought.
because he was quite a bit older than I. He's 9 years older than
He's
I
the
am.
oldest of 7 children.
He is. He's 53, and so when he's 9 years older. When I was 9, he was 18. Pretty much out of the house.
Mhm.
Didn't know your dad very well at all, but I do know he rocked at Trivial Pursuit
Yeah.
because he was an insane reader, and like all of our family, highly intelligent, horribly undereducated.
Yeah. It's kind of admirable, though, isn't it? That we have all this potential and we have the wherewithal to not put it to good use.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put a positive spin on the fact that I never went to college.
How long can you really ride the potential excuse? Like, you have to do something with it.
I'm
at some
almost
point.
30 and have never stepped foot into a college, except for by accident.
Or a
once.
high school.
Or a high school.
Or a high school.
You know,
yeah.
I am forever in high school now, and I'm loving it. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, how the senior girls looking this year?
God,
Good crop
yeah,
of them.
yeah, you know what?
Like
their
Vanessa
cleavage
Hudgens?
comes into my room long before the rest of their body does. I tell you, they're highly underdressed. But no, hello guys. I was nominated Homecoming Queen
How does
2
that
weeks
work?
ago.
Wow.
Oh no, I got Homecoming Queen. I wasn't nominated. I got it. Homecoming Queen.
Wow.
Staff member, Homecoming Queen. Oh yeah. So I'm living my high school years at the age of 44.
Well, it's about damn time.
I know it. I
I-
still
I-
can't
I-
do the math, but I can walk the walk.
My mom used to always say, my mom was the one, the reason I was able to go to homeschool as opposed to public high school is because I agreed to help her with the daycare.
In daycare.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
But she would always tell me that I was going to regret the fact. She was almost pushing for me to go to public high school because she did, and she claimed those would be the best years of my life. And I
Yeah,
was
she
supposed
loves
to be.
saying that.
and I've never regretted it. I mean, I
haven't
regret
regretted going to
never
high
having
school
gone
at
to
all?
college, but high school would have been terrible for me based
Really,
on
truly.
Yeah,
based
I
on
agree.
kindergarten through 8th grade, absolutely.
Oh. See, I always thought it was a pity that we didn't go to high school because high school to me, now that I'm there all the time, was less about academics and more about social. What's the word I want to use?
Development? I mean,
Yeah.
I still can't associate in a crowd full of people.
Okay, so
Me
here's
neither.
the deal. I think if you lined all those people up in a line, you would see a common thread of social retardation. That's how I feel.
I absolutely agree
And
with you.
Trace, your uncle, my brother Trace, he's 46 years
Future
old.
guest of the show.
He said not long ago, one of the last times I talked to him, he relates really well with children and elderly people, and that's it. People in the in between, he has
That's
no
what you call
idea.
a fetish.
Yeah. Well, we didn't learn how to deal with people our own age. We didn't learn how to deal with it.
It's true.
We
We're
ran
always
away
around
from it.
like way smaller daycare kids or adults
Or old people
Yeah.
or adults. Yep. And there's this common thread of social retardation. And I don't blame anyone for that. There's lots of reasons for it. I don't blame it. I think we can all work out of it.
Yeah.
But I think few of us have. But anyway.
I had to defeat the aliens. Bloody battle. Fight to the finish. Fight, 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 fight. It must have been. It must have been. It must have been a happy time.
Let's talk a little bit about our mom, Jackie and Lori, like the early years.
Jackie and Lori, the early years.
Yeah, like I obviously right now,
Your sister-in-law, not your flesh and
right.
blood sister.
but there's like this total maintained relationship where you talk to her more than you talk to my dad. Is that safe to say?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was that always like that? Like her attitude is like, oh yeah, what's up, girlfriend? And however, mom.
Sisters forever.
Yeah. Oh my God. The
I-
number
I-
for
But don't spill out
EVA.
forever, yeah.
I actually have a magnet on my refrigerator that your mother gave to me. I don't know how many years ago. Sisters or I don't know. It's some reference to you can be born sisters, but we are sisters because we made it happen. That way or
Was
something.
this
I don't
like?
know.
Was this pre-divorce from my dad or post-divorce?
That magnet was pre-divorce.
Wow. See, that's what I was wondering, if like she was always like, because to me it seemed like after they got divorced, she really tried to, and especially now with MySpace, like tries to attach herself to all of my dad's family. Like she's always leaving our cousin Tiffany, who she's not blood related to at all, and
Right.
never had anything to do. Always leaving her MySpace messages, sometimes possibly under Melissa's name. So it's like after the divorce, she's trying to attach herself to all of Dad's family. I thought maybe that's what it was with you.
I could relate to your mom on that respect, because when you make a move, like your mom made a move to divorce your dad, and I made a move to divorce David. You do grasp onto what's there, and try to make what happened a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I totally get your mom there. And
well, what was your relationship with her before she was ever
you know,
divorced?
And what
again,
steps did she take wrong that you didn't? Yes.
what was that?
Nothing. I can have a rational conversation with you in a way.
Yeah,
that
as you can with your ex-husband.
Okay, here's the deal with your mother.
Let's hear it, Lori.
Well, I'm just trying to think. I don't even remember. How old is your mom?
She was born in 1959, January of 1959.
Janine, what's the math on that?
Fact checker, math checker.
49.
Okay, 48, 49. Okay, and what am I? 44?
I don't
Okay.
know.
I
You
can
should know
remember.
that one.
I can remember when I very first met your mother. She walked into our home, and your mother was very, 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 very shy.
And they documented it on CBS. How I Met Your Mother, guys. Come on. Anybody?
Good pull, PJ. I'll give you a
Yeah,
high
really
five.
nice.
but, both my
She
hands are
was
full.
really, really shy, like in the corner of the room, biting her nails, knees up to her chin, in a fetal position, shy.
Basically the way I am.
Yeah, and I thought, oh my God.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Yeah.
I always thought the social retardation came from my dad's side, but maybe my mom. Had
I
something
don't
to do
know.
with
I don't know. No, I didn't know your mom before that. She was already in her 20s. I didn't know her, but I thought, oh my God, this woman is so ass backwards.
it. Right.
When you met her, was she already like, was it like, oh, my brother knocked her up and now they're getting married? Or
And was
You
I a
know-
cute baby? Sorry, I'm going to change.
Oh
the
my
subject
God, you were
altogether.
so adorable.
Okay,
You
going
and your
back, going
ears.
back.
did
You
you
and your
did you
ears.
ever think back then they should not get married?
No, never thought that in a
Wow.
million
Really?
years. Because I didn't know him. I didn't know either one of them. I didn't
That's
know
kinda
Greg.
true. That's
I did
true.
not know your dad, and I did not know Jackie. But I knew Jackie was really, really, really backwards shy, like like scary shy.
Yeah.
But my dad, Bud, may he rest in peace.
1986, you died. Is that right?
1986, October 13th. I
Wow.
killed him. That's a whole nother story. Did you guys hear that story about how I killed our dad?
No.
Didn't you dance with him and he had
Yeah.
a heart attack?
Oh, it
Yeah.
was you?
It was me.
Get out of my brother's house.
I know, no, your dad. Okay, we'll still have to go back to this in a minute about what your dad said to me like years
Oh.
later that totally crushed
Yeah.
me.
Okay. Don't forget,
But
please, or
I
tell
won't.
it now,
I
because I
won't.
can't go without hearing it.
But your mother, my dad, Bud, I totally attribute to getting Jackie out of her shy slump.
Yeah, well, I was 6 when he died, and I do have memories of him, but they're they're so fuzzy. But I do remember him being a very jovial, very nice guy, and so if anybody could pull my mom out of that social rut, I guess it would be him.
And
she,
it was
years
Bud.
after he died, she even attributed that to him.
Absolutely,
Not
it
in
was
so many
Bud.
words, but you know that she had a good relationship with him.
And I always called your mom Jacket, and I still do.
Yeah, I know. Where did that come from?
I don't know. And
Even as a
I
kid, I was
always
like,
liked
"Come on,
her.
Glory."
I always liked her. Maybe I thought it was a bit of a challenge, a personal challenge to get your mom out of her box or out of her shyness. And I thought, okay,
And boy,
I'm gonna,
she is out and proud now.
she is out and proud.
Thanks to
and I'm taking
MySpace.
total
Thanks to
credit
Tom
for
from
it.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Your mom's out? Is she gay?
She's
I'm
out-
surprised
she's
she
out
talks
of her
to you,
shell,
actually.
that's for sure.
She is out of her shell, and I love that. I think Vince was good for your mom.
I think
Yeah.
alcohol was good for my
I think
mom.
my alcohol probably was good for your mom.
Every October 13th, she pours a little rum on the ground for her dead homies. Here you go, bud. This one's for you.
That's so awesome. And,
And
you
she
know,
pours out a bud.
and grateful, you know, I can honestly say that had Melissa not been a part of our lives, I don't know that I'd still be in contact with your mom, not because I wouldn't want to be, but because, you know, time and unforeseen occurrence befall us all, to quote scripture. But
Please don't quote scripture. Not on this show, goddammit.
Okay, sorry.
And I blaspheme just to make up for it.
Yeah, okay. But no, I enjoy your mom. Your mom's been serious about maintaining our friendship as much as I've been serious about maintaining hers. But one of the huge coagulants to that is Melissa. I love Melissa. And I don't, you know, I've always been really serious about my nieces and nephews. And I lost Tim.
Yeah.
We all
I
lost
don't know
him.
why. He's the only one. And I thought, I'll be goddamned if I'm going to lose Melissa, too.
He's still around and would be glad to come live with you.
I'm
if that's what you want.
He is waiting for that phone.
He
Okay, I
will
have
do
his
it.
address.
So-
Albina
only-
actually sent me his address,
Yeah.
and I need to write him.
Tim is
Um,
not only the weirdest cousin that I have by far, and that includes your son. Even he's not as
Oh,
weird
that's
as Tim.
something else we have to talk about.
Yeah,
Caleb.
we will. But
Caleb
yeah.
and killing my dad. Let's go on to that. Too. Yeah.
I'll write both those down.
But
Take
yeah,
notes, take
Tim.
notes.
Tim is just. I would almost love to have Tim on the show just because I want to try and get in his head.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's
I don't
going
know
on
him
with that guy.
at all.
Oh man, I don't know him well, but I
I
know
don't know
the
him at all.
14-year-old version of him, which is the him today.
Yeah.
Also, 14 years.
I'd love to
later.
get to know him. I would love to get to know him.
No, you wouldn't, Lori.
No,
you
it's
wouldn't.
bad.
Really?
It's bad.
Well, I
annoying.
didn't want to. I didn't want Melissa to fall in that category.
Oh
And
well, Melissa's bad too. So if you
Yeah.
can handle her,
all
maybe.
right then. I love Melissa. She's
I do
hysterical.
too. I mean, not only is she my sister, but like
I love her.
I see the good points in Melissa.
She's
It's just
bright.
hard to focus on because she aggravates me within 3 seconds of my being
True.
in the
Yeah.
room.
True.
Big
And
time.
I got to get over that. I know that
Yeah.
I do, and I've been able to if I focus.
Uh-huh.
But otherwise, I just want to punch her in the face. Quite
I
honestly,
know.
sometimes.
I know. She's a good girl, though. And if anything is said and or listened to on this podcast, it's that Melissa is not as bright as Melissa will get. Melissa has a long ways to go.
I
and
know
she'll
she
get
does.
there.
And what's
She's
funny
a very,
is
very bright girl.
you are one of few family members that acknowledges Melissa really as a family member anymore.
Mhm.
But not only that, you take her into your house for a week or two at a time every time she has a break from school. And I know just based on what I've seen that it's crazy the difference because I think a lot of the problem with our sister is that not only is she developmentally disabled, but she's not working her way out of it with the routines that she has set for her. She comes home from school where I'm pretty sure she learns nothing. She comes home from school and tells me about a field trip she took to Walmart. Sounds to me like the teacher needed to run some errands and put her in the car. That's honestly the vibe that I
Yeah.
get based on her description.
Yeah.
And then so she comes home and she just sits in front of the Disney Channel
Yeah.
for 8 hours
Yeah.
until dinner's ready at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
and then goes to sleep. But she doesn't. She stays up till 3 in the morning, wakes up at 8 and goes to school.
What I truly believe about Melissa, like I do a lot of kids in her situation, is that wherever you put the bar, they will hurdle it. So if you put the bar way down low,
Right, exactly.
then they're going to hurdle it. But
and
if
you make her
raise
work
it,
for it in the time that she's with you.
Make her
and
work
you
for
see
it.
the progress. Like it's
Uh-huh.
so sad because she'll have spent a week or two with you, and all of a sudden she's saying please and thank you, and just has like common sense manners.
Uh-huh.
And then she'll go back to her environment that she's in and instantly fall back.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she's the same talking in her baby voice, which she
Uh-huh.
still does.
Yeah.
Like you got to get past those things.
Well,
and
and
she
kinda what-
can. It just doesn't ever stick.
Parenting's exhausting. And she, you know, when I saw her this couple weekends ago at the Hello Bowling Special Olympics, which was amazing, she doesn't talk with her lips closed when she says her M's and her B's, and I refuse to listen to her. And she's like, I'm going to tell my mom that I can go to the store.
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me, I didn't see any M's or any B's come out of that sentence with your lips closed.
See,
So I'm not listening to you until you say your M's and your B's. And then she'll say it perfectly.
I get on her like that too, but I just more say, I'm not going to fucking listen to you if you're talking like that. Shut up or talk like a
It's
normal
hard not
person.
to snap. And
I
we've
need
had our
some
first
M's, I need
snort
some
of the
B's.
evening.
I'm sorry, yeah.
But it's so annoying when she does that
I
because she
know.
doesn't have to do that.
It's a habit. It's a habit. I think with Melissa, a lot of what she does is habit. Yes, she is developmentally
Oh, it's so
delayed.
routine, yeah.
It's developmental. She's definitely developmentally delayed. I will not. I will honor that totally. But a lot of it is a matter of training too.
But yeah, man,
She needs to take.
she's so much fucking smarter than those other
Oh
retards at
my
the Special
God,
Olympics. Did you see
she's
those
so
guys?
smart.
Is the
At
name
least her hands not on backwards, right?
Okay, so here's the deal. So we went to the Special Olympics, the bowling, and there was 300 mentally retarded people there.
how many in helmets? Is the name of the school she goes to still Harvard? No, I'm
Well,
serious.
I
She
know.
went
No,
to- yeah.
no, it's Franklin Pierce.
Oh.
Yeah, her middle school was,
I was-
Harvard, though.
Really?
So Melissa would tell me about how she was going to Harvard next
The
year.
bowling tournament.
Okay.
Bowling
Well,
for
not
Harvard.
That's
situating her
hysterical.
B's or M's.
No.
Bowling for Harvard.
But I got to tell you this. We were in a bowling alley full of probably 300 developmentally different people, ranging in age from, regular old elementary school to 68 years old.
How many were hitting their hands on their chest?
We got more hugs from strangers that day than I can ever tell you. But she was on the academic upswing in there, which made me really glad.
Not a great bowler, but definitely
Not a great
smart.
bowler. She needs to learn to use the holes and look at the arrows. But she, when I saw all of the variety,
It really was
rubric,
fascinating,
it's
especially
like,
the
wow.
drunker I got.
the drunker you got. And we need to talk about that. Oh, God, yeah, we need to talk about that.
Was
how
I
drunk you
obviously
were.
drunk?
No, you were obviously drinking.
Well, of course I was drinking. I wasn't
Yeah.
not going to be drinking.
He was
the time that I
texting me
there.
throughout the whole thing.
Beer
about
after
how
beer
drunk
after
he
beer
was.
after beer after beer.
Yeah. It was weird because that's the first time. Okay, let's give the background. Melissa had a Special Olympics bowling tournament.
She did.
Located in Tacoma.
She did.
You and Janine.
Yes.
You're what do you call her?
Lesbian hot lover.
That's what I thought.
Love
So,
of my life.
You and lesbian hot lover, love of your life, Janine.
Uh-huh.
You guys were there, and I knew you were there. I showed
Uh-huh.
up on the bus,
Uh-huh.
and I had a general idea of where you guys were at within the bowling alley, but I couldn't quite handle it yet. And then I was walking past the bar.
Couldn't
and I
handle
saw-
what? The fact that we were gay?
No,
Oh.
not you specifically. My mom specifically.
Your mom's gay. Oh, no, never mind.
You're putting a lot of words in my mouth.
I know.
So I'm cruising past the bowling alley bar on the
Right.
way, and then all of a sudden I see our stepdad, Vincent. He's the only black guy in the whole bowling alley, by the way.
Right.
And then, so I was like, well, as long as I'm here, I'm going to grab a beer with Vincent. And then I drank 2 more before I realized, oh, I'm allowed to take beers out. I guess I will go say hello to the rest of the family.
Right.
And so that's when I came out, and then, yeah. So it was, my dad has our little sister 4 hours every other weekend.
Right.
And it happened to fall upon his weekend with her.
Yes.
So my mom was there to support Melissa in the bowling tournament, and my dad was there to pick her up.
Right.
But I guess it had started late, and so
It did.
there was an hour or 2 window where my dad didn't have anything to do, and he was in town. So
And they had to be in the same 15,000 square foot space.
yes, him and my mother, who have not seen each other or been in the same room in probably 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was ridiculous. I'm glad that he took the time. I was really surprised that he manned up and actually came in at all.
And I'm going to pretend it was all about me.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of it was you, quite honestly. And that's why he spent most of the time talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they spent that much time, and Melissa's wandering there, every time she bowls and comes back, there's mom, there's dad,
Does she-
not even acknowledging each other, even though they were 5 feet apart.
Right.
Fucking ridiculous.
Did they
And I
even
called
say
my-
hi?
No, not even
Oh,
hi.
wow.
I called her on it when we happened to be in the bar at the same time, me and my mom. Huh, what are the odds?
That'll never happen again.
And I said, "Are you, Melissa's here? Are you not even gonna, acknowledge each other's presence for the, for the benefit of Melissa?"
Right.
And no, and I think to be fair, my mom would be willing to talk to my dad, but my dad's the one that shuts down. Like, there's no way.
I'm really surprised that she didn't try to get in there and
Me
say
too.
something to him.
But it was kind of funny.
I'm more
because-
surprised that Melissa didn't come up and say something like, "Are you guys going to get married again?"
That's true.
Mom,
That's
give
true.
Dad a hug.
In fact, Melissa was very cool about the whole situation.
She was. She was very diplomatic.
Yeah.
Which goes right back to her intelligence.
Yeah.
Her really high
But it was just so weird. My dad was there, and you hadn't seen him in, 6 years?
At least.
Right. So you guys are talking, and my mom's sitting literally directly next to you, and she would comment on things that you and my dad were talking about, but not directly to my
Yeah.
dad.
I don't get that.
I don't get that either. You know
don't
why?
get that.
Because they're both adults, and they
And
have
they have-
children that
and
are present.
3 huge common denominators, 2 of which are in the room.
Yeah.
No, truly.
Do you need a bathroom break?
I need to go potty.
Must have been It must have been a happy time.
What's up with Caleb? What couch is he sleeping on right now?
He lives in a big house, doesn't he?
I
Okay,
don't know. I
now
don't know.
that's
I mean, the
funny.
big house. He's in jail.
A couple of, probably, 6 months ago in the summer, we ended up at a friend's house, and there was a young woman there, beautiful young woman. She's dead now.
Still
Yeah.
beautiful.
She's dead. She's not so beautiful anymore. This was just 6 months ago, 21 years old. But anyway, she knew my son, and she called him a couch surfer. I didn't know what that meant. And she called him a couch surfer. And that's because what couch is he sleeping on now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked that as a joke. I didn't know he was actually
No.
the couch surfer.
He
officially.
used to be a
Girl-
couch surfer, but now, no, he's doing good. He lives in Seattle, blazing his own trail. Maybe not the trail I had hoped he would blaze.
Maybe not
but
the blazing you were hoping he
yeah,
would blaze.
maybe not the
but-
blazing or the lighting up, I would hope. But, he's a good kid. He does whatever every mother wants him to do. He checks in all of the time, and he sends me these messages, and he calls me, Mom, I love you. Mom, I'm sitting at home talking about how awesome you are.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And, yeah, he's a good kid. He's a really good kid.
I've seen him probably once. Let's see. I saw him probably slightly less than a year ago, and I'd found out that he was living in Seattle, as do I. And so we made arrangements to see each other. And my girlfriend at the time, I was staying at her place, and she was gone on a work trip, and so I was house sitting for her. And Caleb came over and brought this weird friend over also, and they brought a humongous quantity of marijuana.
Yeah. That's my
and
boy.
He smoked me out, and it was great. And we watched DVDs and cracked up, and then he left, and I haven't talked to him since. But I had a really
Yeah.
great time with him the last time I hung out.
He's a
with him.
good kid. He's like 5'1" and 120 pounds.
I know.
He's
And,
tiny.
God, he was such a Casanova from an early age.
He's cute. He's
Yeah.
a cute kid.
Girls love that guy.
Girls love that guy. I know. And I love him. He's a really, really great kid. He's a great kid. He is who he is. And I don't even really know what that is yet.
Me neither. That's why I was asking you.
I don't know.
Mother.
I don't know. He's,
What's he doing for work now? Is he still at that restaurant?
He is at Dick's. He called me, Mom, I work for Dick now. I knew it.
You got to get your huge bags of weed somewhere.
I know. No, he's got a great job. He works at Queen Anne Hill. He works at the Queen Anne Dick's
Oh, I
right
know
there
that Dick's.
by Keys Arena.
I should go see. Would he hook me up for free food?
I'm sure.
All right,
He does
good.
great. No
I
free
can't
food.
spend 86
No free
cents on a
food.
cheeseburger
People from
there.
the audience are saying no free food. No free food.
Yeah. You
No,
can't-
he's got it down to a science. He's doing good. That's a
Dick's
great
is
place.
a Seattle institution, and they offer like a college plan, like a lot of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they pay like over $9 an hour, and they pay for your child care if you have kids, and they pay for college tuition if you're there for more than 2 years.
Say free
And they
food.
have a 401k plan.
Say free food, and I'm sold.
Yeah. Say free food. I'm
Yeah.
sure free food. For him, 1 meal a day.
One meal a day.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
doing
no,
really
those are
good.
tiny burgers.
He works, and their menu hasn't changed since 1954. Burgers, fries, and milkshakes, and he loves it. And that's all I want for him. I want him to be happy. He's a good kid. Love that boy. Love that boy.
Now, your other child is a brain surgeon. Is that correct?
I thought it was rocket scientist, or is
Okay.
it rocket scientist / brain surgeon?
She could be anything she wants to be. Right now,
I
it's a
believe
bitch.
it.
No, I'm joking. You know where she wants to go now? Have you heard this?
Afghanistan.
The military.
Oh.
The Marines. She wants to be a Marine. You know why? And I think this is why, because everything comes easy to her. She aced a test that people haven't aced at WSU for a long time, and she wants to do something that's a challenge, and she wants to go into the Marines. What am I
Wow.
supposed to say to that? I know.
Say no.
I don't know. Okay, we're getting some
I'm sure she would be
some
successful
miming
at
from the
that.
audience. Oh God, she wants to fly an airplane. That's it. She wants to be an aviator and a brain surgeon or a heart surgeon or whatever. I
Do you
don't
think
know.
she's just like getting really into MASH right now and she'll get over it?
Could be.
It's on syndication.
I don't know. I don't know.
Suicide is painless.
Do you think she's suicidal because of her obsession?
Is that
with
what-
men?
is that where we're going?
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
She's.
I can say that I
yeah.
haven't seen her in several years, but your daughter Lacey never liked me. She
She
had
never
an
liked
atti-
me either.
She had an attitude
too
from
smart
a very
for us
early
all.
age. Yeah, really. Like I can remember her being 4 years old, and I'm making the funny faces that make 4-year-olds laugh, and she was not having it ever.
I can remember when she was 2 years old, her dad and I got into a really serious conversation that she's the youngest bitch we ever knew. And we need to do something about it, or she's not going to have any friends when she's a grown up. And,
But that's not
yeah.
the case, right? She's got lots of friends.
yeah, mainly
Based
men.
on her MySpace page alone, she's got a lot of
Yeah,
friends.
mainly men. She's very independent, very headstrong, very opinionated, really opinionated.
Like how so? Politically, religiously?
Sure.
Okay.
And I think she thinks that I fucked up her life
Really?
with the divorce with her dad. She
I
loves
like-
her dad.
I like her life.
She's got a really.
I like her life, too.
I want to.
I
I
know.
also want to be a genius.
Yeah, I know.
I would kill for
And
that.
she is. She
Yeah,
is.
that's
She's
rough,
an
Lacey,
academic
that's rough.
genius. She does not have the social grace her brother has, however.
Yeah.
She is way behind with the social skills that her brother has. But she is a genius, and she does. She can be manipulative and brilliant. She is brilliant. But I want to know her when she's 30. She's only
Yeah.
19.
Right.
And when she's 30, I'm waiting for that delayed gratification as a parent where she looks back and says, "Oh my God, Mom, you weren't near as an ass as I thought you were when I was 19."
Let me ask you this. Do you think she voted for Obama?
She did. I know she did.
All right.
Because I read The Wall on her Facebook, and her dad got in a bit of a debate about him being a Republican.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Not only is he not a Jehovah's Witness anymore, but he's a fucking Republican.
I know. Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to be political.
No,
That's-
neutral.
That's what I meant
neutral.
by my comment.
But she is.
I'm explaining to the listener.
Sorry.
She is very. She was very Obama-ish, and as I was, and so.
As I was.
Hey, that's a common denominator. I have something in common with Lacey. She might change her political stand now.
If she ever hears this, she's like,
Yeah.
fuck this.
She might go, "Oh shoot, no, I meant McCain. I'm McCain."
Palin
No.
is a genius. I won't hear otherwise.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
Sarah Palin? Gross.
No, Lacey May.
Did
Lacey
you know that
May.
Barack Obama's a terrible bowler? I watched this thing where a lady challenged him to a bowling match, and she beat him like 81-37. Like that's Special Olympics bowling right there.
I think Melissa did better
Melissa
than
could take that guy on.
I think so too.
I voted for Melissa, actually. I take it back. There's a write-in vote, and I was like, this would be
Mm-hmm.
funny. Can you imagine?
Enough people had the same joke in their head. and It's a movie.
would've been
it's
four
a
of us.
movie
She's
now.
got a better chance than Nader, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretending to be political. I have no idea what I'm saying.
No, but Lacey May, wait and see. You know,
I've seen. It's impressive.
she's amazing.
She's accomplished more than I ever will already.
Amazing. I know. She's got a lot of opinions about a lot of things. Some right, some wrong, but you know, oh well. She's young. I can't wait to know her when she's all grown up.
Yeah, being an adult's awesome. I love it. I love being an asshole to my parents.
You were kind of an asshole to mom before you were an adult.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something, Lori. How is it that you conspired to kill your father? Was it candlestick in the dining room, or?
No, it was the rope in the conservatory. No, okay, so here's the deal. Okay, let me tell you this story because I tell this story all
It
the
was
time.
the early days of AOL. Your screen name was Professor Plum.
Damn it, you stole my fire. No, I loved my dad. Okay, this is what really hurts because I love my dad a lot. And when I totally came out to my mom and blah 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 yada yada, and then the last letter I get from my mom was that how glad she is that my dad's not alive to know me. Considering how
Wow.
much I know that really hurt. Considering how much I love my dad.
And really, tell me if I'm wrong. I was 6 when he died again, so I
Okay.
didn't know his political views or any of those things. But I don't believe, just based on every story that I've ever heard about your father, that he would be ashamed of you.
No, I don't think so.
You don't
I
think that's
so
what
either.
killed him?
My being gay?
Yeah.
No.
It was pretty obvious.
Yeah,
he
I
never
know.
walked in on you and
No,
your pioneer partner, did
Although
he?
I took many women over there. No. Okay, so my parents gave us, we're really poor. And the only thing, well, not the only thing, but one of the things my parents passed on to us was the ability to dance, jitterbug, Lindy, two-step, blah, blah, blah.
Man,
So I went over there in
Yeah.
1986. I loved my dad. My dad was awesome. I went there, and Dad and I cleared the floor to dance, and we're dancing. And Dad was 6 foot something, 6'1" maybe at the most, 300 pounds, and he and I are dancing up a
51,
storm,
right?
51, and he hit the floor. Boom! You guys grew up in that house. Boom! He hit the floor. Almost 300 pounds of him hit the floor, and that was it. He just hit the floor. And I called for my mother. She was in the bathroom, and so we totally get on the CPR thing. I do the heart, blah blah blah. Mom does the mouth to mouth, and the ambulance comes, and Rhonda was on the phone at the time upstairs. It was pre-cell phones,
Right.
pre-call waiting, pre-all of that. And I get on the phone downstairs, and I'm like, Rhonda, get off the phone. Something's happened. She's, talking to her best friends, and she wouldn't get off the phone. So I run upstairs to say, get off the phone. Something's wrong with Daddy. I had a heart attack. And so she finally believes me, gets off the phone, and we call the ambulance, and they come, take him away, and he died 3 weeks later.
3 weeks. I didn't know.
3
it was
weeks
that
later.
long
3
after
weeks
the fact.
later. He had, and we didn't know this, and this is what pissed me off so bad, is that we didn't know from when my dad was in his 20s, he had a heart defect, that you have these little flip valves in your heart valves, your, what do you call them? The
Areola.
Well, there too, and they really pulse when you're excited. No, aorta, real close. The aorta, and his valve was progressively growing closed. Okay, none of us knew that. Mom and Dad didn't bother to tell all 7 of their kids that Dad had a fucking heart defect.
Wow.
Okay, we didn't know that. So
So maybe don't get to be 300 pounds too. with that
exactly.
defect.
Yeah.
And so his heart valve, the flippy thing, was progressively growing closed. We didn't have the privilege of knowing that. So when I danced with him, his little flip valve was only working 10%, and he passed out, basically had this
Was he
heart
a
attack.
smoker too?
No. In secret.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
He was a secret smoker. I know. Yeah, and more than one of us children caught him smoking in the garage with his little pot-belly stove that he would have there. And so, we're going to take out his valve. We're going to put in a new one. No big deal. 5% chance of anything going wrong. Of course, everything went wrong. And so here's the deal. They went to sew that new valve into his areola.
Of course.
Which
of
is
course.
just the wrong place to put it. Let's face it.
and the doctor said it was like sewing wet toilet paper together. They would put the needle in and pull, and it was so weak. His heart was so weak because it had whatever, and they couldn't. The blood wouldn't coagulate. So did he die not getting a blood transfusion? Well, the doctors wanted to give a blood transfusion in order to.
To clarify for the listeners, Jehovah's Witnesses
Do not
refuse
take-
blood transfusion.
No.
And a lot of people blamed our grandpa's death on the fact that he did not accept that blood transfusion.
Yes, but the doctor there at the time said that it wasn't an end-all cure-all. It was a tool they wanted to use. Mom said, no, don't use it, and so they didn't. So whether it would have saved his life or not is questionable. But there was
Did you ever get a percentage on that?
No. There was no blood coagulant to get that valve to adhere to his heart muscle, and so he died. Okay, so anyway, so he died, blah, blah, tears,
Way to bring the
tears.
room down, Lori.
I know.
There better be a good spin to
Okay,
the
so
story.
then, no, it's not a good spin, but the spin years later was that, I don't know how many years later, maybe it was 3 years later, there was a wedding here in town, and your father and your mother came to that wedding.
Uh-huh.
And I don't even know why now that they came to the wedding. I was in it. It was a J-Dub wedding, Tracy
Yeah.
and Tony Harris.
Oh, yeah, I remember that wedding. Was I there?
Probably.
As a little tyke?
Probably.
I
as a
remember
little-
overalls?
I remember pictures of it.
Yeah. And I was in the wedding in this really obnoxious pink dress with a huge bow. I think it was the last time I wore
That's
a dress.
the picture I remember.
Yeah.
Last time you wore a dress?
Yeah, probably
You're a total
so.
lesbian.
I'm a dyke, totally. And I asked your father to dance. And you know what your dad said to me?
I can see it.
Your dad. And your mother was right there, and your mother was totally mortified. I think this is probably what sealed your mom and I's relationship as you and I are sisters, is that your dad looked at me when I said, Scott, dance with me, and your dad says, and I quote, why? So you can kill me like you killed our father?
Wow.
And your mother
Have I
was,
never heard this story?
I don't know. Your mother was mortified.
How long was this after he had died?
Well, Tony and Tracy, oh my God, they probably got married. Dad died in 86. They probably got married in 1990, 1989.
So this rage is building within my dad for 4 years. He blames you.
I don't know how my mom could be that mortified.
I
'cause
can't
around
imagine as much of I'm sorry, PJ,
That's all right.
but as much of a shithead as Dad is, I can't imagine him saying something like
He's in.
that.
And you
like
know
that's
what?
just really vindictive and mean.
But considering the
Or did he
how
think,
rude our
like,
family can be,
It's like 9/11. Like you can joke about it after the fact.
and I think I think it was. I don't think he was being malicious.
Okay.
I think he was just being
Well,
rude.
to be fair,
crude,
that was all in your
allers.
delivery then.
I think it was allers. I think it was allersness and allers being rude and crude and as we can be. He says, "Why? So you can kill me like you killed our father."
Still, I can't see
And-
Dad saying that.
But that was the very first realization that I thought, "Oh my God, does my family blame me for my father's death?" So ever since then, I took it on as my own responsibility that I killed our dad.
Well, you and your goddamn jitterbug,
Yeah,
or whatever it is.
and the fact that I'm gay. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. You said they were.
What-
But I tell
what
you
if
what.
when he was dancing with you, he smelled the lesbian on you,
Well-
and he went into a heart attack because of it?
But here's the thing: I had been
Didn't go over as well as I thought.
clandestinely.
Sorry, that was so offensive.
I'd been secretively sleeping with a regular pioneer at the time.
At that time.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that it was God's plan to
Oh, my
punish
God.
me. No, that's
Oh.
the whole thing you go into as a J-Dub.
Yeah,
It's
of
like,
course,
oh
of course.
my
There's just so
gosh.
much guilt. There's
And then
so much
she
guilt in that
came to
religion.
the funeral,
Oh,
and I was
man.
so mean to her because it's like, hello, we are the reason my father is dead. Yeah.
And then my dad later confirmed that.
Yeah, yeah. So in my own head of trying to rationalize the whole thing, my dad was dead because I was gay. Yeah.
There was a story about Tracy flipping out when Grandpa died, isn't there? Do you not know that story? Maybe my dad told the story, but there was something about
It was a mom story, like being gossipy. She always talked shit about Dad's entire family, and she was just saying that Tracy made a really big scene at the funeral.
He did make a bit at the funeral.
Or I mean, in the
Not at the
hospital
funeral, but
or
at the
something.
hospital.
in the hospital he did. I don't really remember what it was because I've kind of blanked the whole thing out, but he did make a big scene at
Well,
the
why wouldn't you? Your dad died,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, we all went there with the Trivial Pursuit and Life and, Checkers. We all went there with this. We're all going to be together and play games until Dad gets out of this, and then he died at the end. It's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
you're not expecting that.
No. When they came in and they said, well, your dad's he's dead, but he's on a ventilator. I'm like, oh, he's on a ventilator. I'm like, that's good news. None of us got it.
Right.
None of us got it.
And how could you? Like, that's a hard thing to wrap
No.
your head around.
Tracy did flip out. And I think we all had, at the moment of our lives, we all had different reasons why it was really, really profound to all of us at that moment. Your dad and Russ were in their what, I don't know, 30s, late 20s at the very least, late 20s.
Yeah, 30s, I think.
Yeah.
Dad would have been early 30s,
Yeah.
like 30 or 30.
And they had their reasons for going, oh my God, this is so not real. And Trace had the same reasons for going, oh my God, he had his own issues. Rhonda had huge issues with Dad because Rhonda was one of Dad's favorites, and she was pregnant at the time. They were
Oh.
way on the outs.
So he never got to meet Ashley.
Dad, and I don't even know that Dad knew she was pregnant.
Oh,
I don't
really?
even know that for sure, but Rhonda knew. And so there was that huge thing. I mean, and I was gay, but nobody knew. And so I took on this whole, it's all my fault because I'm gay and God's punishing me because I've been sleeping with this woman, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we all had our reasons for making it the absolute worst thing in the whole wide world.
Is it true that last week at that bowling tournament, when you tried to introduce Janine to my dad, He said, "Why so lesbian? Presence can kill me, like it killed my dad." Because I thought he grew out of that asshole phase, but
He did. Yeah, he did. He looked at Janine and says, "Nice to meet you, you fucking dyke." Yeah. Yeah. And then he spit on her. Yeah, that was weird. But, you know, me being the nice person that I am just made excuses for it. Yeah, wiped it off her face and said, "Oh, don't worry, he didn't really mean that."
And he didn't have
He
this
has a
conversation with you, but I remember one time, it's probably 2-3 years ago, he came out to visit me and my sister, and we were at the park, we were playing basketball, and Melissa had run off because the basketball got off track, and when it was just me and him for a minute, he said, "I think Lori's responsible for 9/11," and I couldn't believe that he said that.
It's because I'm gay. It was.
Your homosexuality caused those towers to burn,
It's
Lori.
true. It's true. Well, you know what? The whole 9/11 thing happened because the abomination of lesbianism.
Obama?
Yeah. No, abomination. Oh my God,
Abomination
Obama.
Abomination isn't until 2009.
Yeah. No, it's true, and I will totally take on that responsibility. Let's talk about me being a nun.
Okay. Nunsicle, of course, is
Nun sensations.
Written by Dr. Seuss?
No.
Oh, wait, is it called Nun Sensations or
Nun
Nunsicle?
sensations. Actually, okay, for the listeners,
Yes. Backstory.
there are 4 plays, musicals, based around these 5 nuns that constantly get themselves into these predicaments.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is yet the latest series of their
You're
predicament.
doing a lot of air quotations. Keep in mind we're strictly audio.
Are you playing Whoopi Goldberg?
No.
That's the only nun pull, and you pulled it. Good job.
No, but she is made reference to in this play.
Oh,
No, I am Sister Mary Leo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leo.
So no, I have this friend, fabulous friend of mine. She's the drama teacher at our school, Eisenhower High School, Yakima, Washington. Okay,
You really
and-
want to plug that?
Yeah. And she comes to me on a Monday, and she says, "Oh my God, Lori, I have to tell you something." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "I have to tell you something." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You are auditioning for a musical Thursday at 3. And I'm like, "I've never sang outside of a drunken karaoke bar." She goes, "No, you're auditioning for a musical Thursday at 3. And so I did, and I got the part. I'm one of 5 nuns.
Yay.
So now I'm the gay XJ Dub nun. Yeah. So if being gay and being an
works in
XJ
the
Dub
arts.
didn't quite seal my relationship with my family, being a nun has. Because I'll tell you what, I kid you not, several years ago, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I, as a sign language interpreter that I am, interpreted a play at a school for Jesus Christ Superstar. And you know, when you're doing an interpretation job, all you do is interpret. You interpret for the deaf. That's all that you do. Doesn't matter what the context of the play or the discussion is.
Right.
Your job is to interpret. And the play was Jesus Christ Superstar, which
That
Which-
booze is really hitting you, Lori.
I know.
Why don't you pass that back
which
along?
sheds Judas Iscariot in a good light, which, according to the Bible, isn't so good.
God, I
after
love
all.
Jesus Christ Superstar. Not
I
sure
know,
how
it's a
much
great
I would love
film.
it if I was deaf.
Your Uncle Russ. Your Uncle Russ. What did he say?
I'm not sure I would love it if I was deaf,
Oh.
but I do love it currently as a hearing person.
Your Uncle Russ.
I never saw Lou Ferrigno in the front seat. Sorry, my Uncle Russ
That's
is
all right.
Judas Iscariot of the 21st
Yeah,
century.
he is, yeah. Your Uncle Russ called me on the phone when he found out I was interpreting for that play and questioned my spirituality.
Ridiculous.
Of course he
I
is.
cannot believe you're interpreting and that's why I go, Russ, I'm only interpreting the play. I'm not part of the play. I'm not in the play. I'm interpreting it. Well, now I'm in the play. I am being a
PJ,
nun.
You
So
said you are familiar with Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know the story. Is it blasphemous in any way, or is it just because it's a representation of Jesus that doesn't tie in with
it's
Jehovah's
not blasphemous.
Witnesses?
Go ahead, PJ.
Well, just like the one main line from the song is, do you think you're who they say you are? Isn't it like it's about like Jesus Christ has been put on this pedestal, which just isn't even accurate, and then he's just rolling with it. Like, if you guys want to think this is true,
Yeah.
then
It's a
Oh, really?
musical.
Great
It
music.
was in the 70s, and everyone was stoned when they did it.
Yeah.
And it's very 70s, very hippie-ish. And Judas Iscariot is portrayed as a man that was just kind of duped and trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And Jesus was sleeping with Mary Magdalene.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Judas got a bad rap in it.
Judas got a bad rap, and Jesus was having an affair.
But come on, it's a fucking play. They're
I know,
dancing
and I was only
singing.
interpreting it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so go back to your brother, Mr. Elder, Mr. Jehovah.
Well, yeah, he was really
I
offended
thought,
and tried to caution
our
me
Uncle
against.
Russ was Jehovah for a long time.
I know, I did too. He's not. He's not even an elder anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I heard
No,
that.
you told me that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I don't think I told you, but I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody told me. So, but now I'm in the play. So now I am in the play, and I am a nun, and I am the epitome of heresy and evil, and
Russ will not be there.
Russ will not
Safe
be
to
there.
say.
However, Janine has sworn to buy my mother a ticket
Oh yeah, hey, yeah, I want to go to that too.
and bring her to the play so she can see me in my habit and play the nun. So, maybe if Jim's dead.
That seems like
Yeah.
a waste of a ticket.
Let's make that happen. Let's put Jim in a building, and then you guys can gate up a little so terrorists attack it, and then
You know what?
Should we
Well,
clarify who
okay,
Jim is before
here's
we
the
plot his
deal.
death?
oh,
You guys are the only two that are allowed in their house, so just light up.
This is Grandma and our step-grandpa, I guess is what you would call him.
Yeah.
Here's my plan to kill our step-grandpa, Jim. Poisonous cum rag, right?
here's my plan to kill him. Wait a couple weeks. Just wait for him to die. You really want to go to jail? Like
Or-
by the time your trial's over, you're like, "Fuck, you would have been dead by now."
Or find a way to walk through his bedroom and then just trip over his IV tube.
Yeah, and light a cigarette on your way through.
Yeah.
Blow the bastard up with the yeah.
I do
sorry, what?
enjoy.
Cookies. Oh yeah, he's diabetic.
Oh,
So we just need to
Oh,
make him
yeah.
some brownies.
Would you like a sugar-free lifesaver? Wink, wink.
I like how Grandma's got the no smoking signs all over her house. Like any of us were ever gonna light up in her living room.
I know.
Like that was ever a question.
God, you gotta love our mom.
Although I had a pretty great
Birthday's
conversation.
beautiful.
I had a great conversation with Grandma once about how when she used to smoke cigarettes, and she's like, "Oh yes, I loved Marlboros."
Really?
She
Oh,
did.
yeah, it was
Okay,
great.
so here's my memory about my mother smoking.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Well, because when I was, by the time I was born, she was a full-fledged J-Dub, a.k.a. what? We don't have to spend money on Christmas? Okay.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Cheap bastard that she was. But no, my mother used to keep Bel Airs. Do you remember Bel Airs? They don't even have Bel Airs anymore, do
No,
they? I don't
that's
think
a
they
cigarette
do.
brand?
It was a cigarette brand. It had little clouds. They were blue and had a little
Menthol,
beautiful
like the long ones?
clouds and everything.
Yeah, I believe they still have like a pastel rainbow on the box or something.
Okay, so my mother had those, and no, it wasn't until here's the interesting thing, guys. It wasn't until
better be interesting.
1976 that J Dubs banned smoking.
Yeah, I think I have heard that.
you
That's
can't.
amazing
You
to me.
could have smoked.
You could have gotten out of the Kingdom Hall to smoke a cigarette.
Oh, we had breaks. We had
Oh.
intermission.
I'd have loved it. I'd still be a J-Dub if I
We
could
had
take a cigarette break.
intermission when
bet,
I was a
I bet
child.
they lost a lot of them.
Yes, we had a 15-minute intermission when I was young, going to meetings, so you can go out and have a smoke. 15 minutes. Yes.
Brilliant.
We had
Church
15-minute
Church
yeah.
of any kind, not exclusive to JWs, would be so much better if you could just smoke the whole time.
15-minute intermission.
Put an ashtray right there on the pew.
Exactly. And so 15 minutes intermission, blah, blah, blah. So my mother, then they came out with, no, you can't smoke anymore. You have 6 months to quit or you're going to get disfellowship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? That's how they laid it out
Yeah.
to you? Wow.
6 months. Yeah, it's 6 months. And
So these people that have been smoking their whole lives
Mhm.
have 6 months to kick that habit,
Right.
or God doesn't love
they
them
did
anymore.
the same thing with Christmas, and they did the same thing with everything else.
Christmas.
Jehovah's Witnesses
When did-
used to celebrate
Yes, they did. They had a
Christmas.
big old Christmas tree in the
Wow.
whole
We need to research.
in the
Wow.
whole Bethel thing. Yeah, they celebrated Christmas up until I don't know the 40s or 50s. Or
Wow.
something. Yeah.
Man, to be a witness in the 30s and 40s.
I know. And you could smoke up until 76. And
Did
then
Charles T. Russell dress up as Santa Claus?
good T. Russell, and I don't know. But
That's a
my
reference for
mother.
being below.
So here's the deal. My mother, she was a smoker, and so all of a sudden, my mother, she always had cigarettes, Bel Air cigarettes, in our medicine cabinet, and the rumor was that you would smoke a cigarette and blow the smoke into your ear if you had an ear infection.
Oh yeah.
And so all of a
Really?
sudden, all
like you've heard this
7 of
before.
her kids and 30 of her child care kids had ear infections all at the same time. And all my mother did was, and that's what she kept a pack to satiate her desire for nicotine and blow smoke into our ears.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why it's in the medicine cabinet.
That's why it was
I
in the
just do
medicine
that to hide
cabinet.
it from my girlfriend, who I
Not
don't
only
like
is
what's
that
No.
deceitful, but harmful towards children.
Can you believe it? I know.
Well,
So,
better
yeah.
to blow it into their ears than into their cooters.
Yeah.
That's when you're really doing a disservice to
So
children.
yeah, so my mother
It's a yeast
smoked.
infection cure.
That's how my mother smoked, and made it in good conscience. Was it? She blew it into our ears. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the
I've
best
had an
story I've
ear
ever heard.
infection ever since. hmm Yeah, my mother. I love my mom.
It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time. The sun would shine, the candy bars, Kool-Aid flowing like wine, the comic books, the TV shows, the bubble gum, the kitty cat. I was a time traveler, listening to the heavenly laughter. Glory was always with me, ever after, forever, ever, 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 ever. It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time. The picture drawing, the pretend hero. My favorite was Captain America. The little girl, the flowers in the yard, the dog and cat, the welcome mat. God told me to go out, singing my songs and whatnot. Led me to the holy river, baptism. Holy, 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 holy. It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time. The GI Joes, the plastic monsters, my dad's motor airplanes, Life magazine, the Bible stories, Kimba the lion, the King Kong. I was a cosmic child, walking the second mile. I had to defeat the aliens, bloody battle, fight to the finish. Fight. It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time.
Janine, when have I ever said no to you? Lori, will you be a lesbian? Okay.
You're responsible.